All right, welcome to this explainer. Look, if you are a leader or maybe a strategist trying to just cut through this absolute mountain of buzzwords to actually deploy AI effectively, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're building your ultimate strategic blueprint. We're going to figure out how to match your very real business needs to the exact right AI technology. Because honestly, that's where the magic happens.
But first, we have to clear something up right off the bat, kind of shatter a major illusion here. Artificial intelligence is not a monolith. It's really not. It isn't this single magic bullet or some plug-and-play robot brain that you just drop into your company and watch it go. Instead, it's actually an evolving, incredibly diverse spectrum of highly specialized tools.
Which brings us to a pretty critical question, and one you should be asking yourself. Are you using the wrong AI for the right job? You wouldn't use a hammer to drive a screw, right? Yet, companies are literally spending millions trying to force a creative AI to do a purely analytical task, or vice versa, expecting a predictive AI to write a marketing email. Choosing the wrong technology doesn't just waste your time. It creates massive operational risk.
So, here is our game plan. First, we'll tackle the monolith myth. Second, we're decoding the 5 AI architectures. Third, we'll navigate the diagnostic decision tree. And finally, we'll talk about the trade-offs and your new role as a human in all of this.
Okay, Section 1, the monolith myth. Let's look at how these capabilities have fundamentally evolved.
Think back to the 2010s. AI was almost entirely about prediction, right? It was just looking at massive amounts of data and finding patterns. Then, in the 2020s, boom, we saw this massive leap into creation, where AI could suddenly synthesize entirely new ideas out of thin air. And where we are heading right now, the true frontier, is autonomous action. This is where AI doesn't just analyze or create, it actually does.
Let's dive right into Section 2, decoding the 5 architectures. Time to unpack the distinct blueprints that actually make up this spectrum.
So, the first architecture is traditional AI. The anchor mantra I really want you to lock in here is, train it, it learns. This one is all about reliability, it's about control. We're talking about highly accurate systems that are built for very specific, tightly defined tasks using mountains of historical data.
Just picture how structured this flow is. We humans provide the data and the rules, the model trains on it, and it outputs a highly specific prediction or a decision. Because it's so rigid and structured, it absolutely excels in everyday critical use cases where you need total zero-surprise consistency. Think fraud detection at a bank, credit scoring, or predictive maintenance on an assembly line.
But then we pivot, and we get to the second architecture, generative AI. Our mantra here shifts to learn it, it creates. And honestly, this was a truly staggering paradigm shift for the world. Instead of just crunching existing data to spit out a score, these systems actually synthesize completely new content, stuff that has literally never existed before.
The real magic is in the loop. You start with a prompt, feed it into a generative model that understands these incredibly deep linguistic or visual patterns, and it acts almost like a creative partner. It outputs entirely new text, images, code, you name it. We're talking about drafting reports, brainstorming marketing angles, or getting real-time coding assistance. It is built purely for creativity and flexibility, not rigid rules. Building right on top of that, we hit the third architecture, multimodal AI. The mantra to remember: see it, hear it, understand it all. This is the moment AI basically stops being blind and deaf. These systems break down traditional data silos by processing totally diverse inputs simultaneously. Imagine text, images, audio, and video all flowing into a single AI engine at the exact same time to create a complete, comprehensive understanding. So why does this matter? Well, think about healthcare. You don't just want a system that only looks at a medical image or only reads a patient's chart. Multimodal AI can process the X-ray and the doctor's messy handwritten notes at the exact same time. The insight you get from that combined context is vastly richer and way more accurate. Okay, brace yourself because things are about to speed up. The fourth architecture is AI agents, and the mantra is simple, one word: execute. This is the crossing of the Rubicon. We leave the realm of AI simply answering our questions, and we enter the highly dynamic realm of AI actually taking action on our behalf. The absolute crucial breakthrough here is the active feedback loop. You give the AI a goal, and it actively uses software tools to execute it. It takes an action, sees the result, course corrects, and loops back. This means it can go in,
and update your CRM, process 50 invoices, or negotiate meeting times on your calendar 24/7 without you clicking a single button. Automation and relentless efficiency, that's the superpower here.
Which brings us to the absolute climax of these architectures, agentic AI. The mantra here is plan. We are talking about the absolute apex of current technology. This is true autonomous adaptability. These systems don't just execute a simple repetitive loop. They actually plan, strategize, and adapt to highly complex, unpredictable environments.
It's an incredible iterative process. It starts with a very high-level goal from you. From there, the system dynamically maps out its own steps, adapts completely on the fly when the environment changes, and sees the complex task through to the finish line. Think entire supply chain optimization or high-level strategic planning. It requires almost no human handholding and basically learns as it goes.
All right, section 3, navigating the decision tree. Because let's be honest, theory is totally useless unless you can actually apply it. Let's give you a diagnostic toolkit.
Think about it like climbing a ladder. If you map this out, going from routine tasks to highly complex ones, and from human-driven oversight all the way up to full AI autonomy, the landscape shifts dramatically. Traditional AI is sitting comfortably down there in the routine, human-driven corner. But as your tasks get messier and more complex, you are forced to climb that ladder, through multimodal, up to agents, and finally hitting agentic AI in the top corner. It is a fundamental shift from just predicting things to actually doing things.
So, here is your ultimate cheat sheet. This makes matching your objective incredibly simple. Ask yourself, what is your primary goal? If you need strict accuracy and prediction, use traditional AI. Need creativity or brand new content? Generative AI. Need deeper understanding across totally different data types? Multimodal is your bet. Want to automate daily, multi-step tasks? AI agents. Need true autonomous planning in a messy environment? Agentic AI. Just match your objective directly to the architecture. Boom, done.
And finally, section 4, trade-offs and the human role. Because with all these incredible new capabilities come entirely new operational risks. And frankly, our own jobs are shifting. Obviously, you cannot just deploy these tools blindly, right? Take generative AI. It's fantastic, but its absolutely critical limitation is hallucination. It can and will confidently produce totally incorrect information, which brings up massive factuality concerns. Now flip that and look at agentic AI at the very top. The risk there isn't really hallucination, it's control. Because it operates with so much autonomy, if you leave it unmonitored, it presents severe security risks. Simply put, the more autonomy you give the AI, the higher the stakes become. And honestly, this is exactly why our role as humans has to evolve. As AI capabilities step up that ladder from traditional to agentic, we have to elevate ourselves from micromanagement to macro leadership. With traditional AI, you're deep in the weeds, right? You're defining the problem, you're formatting the data, but by the time you reach agentic AI, your job totally changes. You are setting high-level values, building safety guardrails, and overseeing the final outcomes. You essentially stop doing the task, and you start leading the intelligence that does the task. Which leads us perfectly to our anchoring takeaway. Call it the golden rule. The ultimate competitive advantage in business today is integration, not replacement. Let me say that again. Integration, not replacement. The absolute best, most game-changing results always come when artificial intelligence and human intelligence are working together in tandem. Match the right tool to the right job and absolutely always keep a human in the loop.
Well, we have covered a ton of ground today, moving all the way from basic prediction to full-blown autonomous action. The blueprint is officially in your hands. The technology is out there and it's ready. So the only question left for you is this. As AI moves from prediction to action, are you ready to step up and lead? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.